We're on lesson 1 of chapter 10, which is probability. First, we're going to determine the likelihood of an event. Then we're going to use complements. Then we'll solve a real-world problem. The first two vocab words of our chapter to focus on will be event and probability. Event, for example, is a set of one or more outcomes. So an example of that would be flipping heads on a coin, or flipping tails, or maybe rolling a 2 on a dice. These are all events that happen. Probability, then, is the measure of how likely an event is to occur, and it's written as P times the event. And we could think of probability in terms of fractions, in decimals, or percents. And probability is always measured from 0 to 1, or 0% to 100%. And these are the extremes. When you have 0% probability, that means it's impossible to happen. It's never going to happen. When it's 100% probability, it's certain to happen, meaning it's never not going to happen. Working our way towards the middle, you can have a percentage such as 25%, which is closer to 0% than 100%. That means it's more likely not going to happen than it would happen, and we can call that unlikely. Likely, on the other hand, is closer to 100% than 0%. That's why it's more likely to happen than not happen. And then in the middle here we have as likely as not, because it's just as far away from 100% as it is 0%. So using weather as an example, it asks us what is the probability it'll rain each day this week, and it gives us a bunch of percentages. Well, on Sunday and Monday I could say impossible. Tuesday is pretty close to 0, but I can't call this impossible because impossible is only when it's 0%. So we'll call that unlikely. 50% then is as likely as not. It means that 50% chance it will, 50% chance it won't. Then I would have 20 and 30% also being unlikely, with a 0% chance of rain on Saturday. We're going to try that with a couple other situations here. It says determine whether each event is impossible, unlikely as not, likely, or certain. Our first problem is rolling an even number on a number cube. So a number cube has numbers 1 through 6. So I'm looking for even numbers, so I could say even and then not even. The ones that are even would be 2, 4, and 6. The ones that are not would be 1, 3, and 5. Since half of the event outcomes are even, I would have to say it's going to be as likely as not. Now we have rolling a number 5 or greater on a number cube. So here we have 5 or greater, and then less than 5. So 5 or greater would be 5 and 6. Less than 5 would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here I notice that the outcome that I want is less than half. There's more likely of a chance that it will not happen, making that unlikely. Now we have rolling a 7 on a number cube. Well, I know that my number cube only has 1 through 6, meaning that 7 could never happen. I never have to worry about rolling a 7, making this impossible. Now we can use complements, and here's the idea of complements. Whenever you have an event, there's always a 100% chance that something's going to happen. So you have your event that you want to happen, plus whatever its complement is, so the other results. So your event plus the other results have to equal 100%. And this is an equation we can use to solve these. Here let me just give you an example. If I flip a coin heads or tails, it's a 50% chance it'll be heads. It's a 50% chance it'll be tails. Add that together, it's going to be 100%. Let's apply that to this one here. It says a bag contains 6 blue marbles, 6 red marbles, 3 green marbles, and 1 yellow marble. The probability of randomly drawing a red marble is 3 over 8. What is the probability of not drawing a red marble? So we could use R for red, and then N for not red. So the probability of red plus the probability of not red is going to equal 1. They said the probability of getting a red marble was 3/8. So we have probability of 3/8 plus the probability of not getting a red marble equals 1. So if we get the probability of not getting a red marble by itself, we could solve for it, meaning that we could subtract the 3/8 from both sides. So the probability of not getting a red marble equals 1 minus 3/8. 1 is the same thing as 8 over 8. So 8 over 8 minus 3/8 equals 5/8. So these would be the odds of not getting a red marble. Now we can solve a real world problem. It says Eric's math teacher almost always gives a pop quiz if the class did not ask many questions during the lesson on the previous day. That's interesting. Kind of like that. If it is Monday and no one asked questions during class on Friday, should Eric expect a pop quiz? And then we need to explain. So we can see that if the class does not ask many questions during the lesson on the previous day, it's almost always a pop quiz. If you have class on Monday and no one asked questions during class on Friday, Monday is the next day after Friday, Eric should be expecting a pop quiz. Is it a for sure thing? No, because it's almost always. He should expect it, but he can't be completely surprised if it doesn't happen. So we'll say yes, because his teacher almost always gives them in that situation.